this is interesting and to be expected. This is from Huffington Post. These are people who are being interviewed by some folks from Huffington Post in Pennsylvania who have flipped their votes. They went from Obama to Trump and now are going to Biden. Listen to this. I think it's sort of intuitive, not to be unexpected, but here it is.
I'm talking to Michael Scott and Lee Kaczynski, who both are food service workers. And you voted for Trump in 2016, and you're voting for Biden this time.
Yes.
Why did you switch?
I was fine with Trump until he got on TV with the coronavirus. And the whole way he just handled that whole situation turned me off. So this year, my man is fun.
Pretty much the same. Dishonesty.
Dishonesty.
Yep.
And just the way he talks about our military, things like that. And even the way once he got the virus and the way he acted afterwards. I mean, this is the most important thing we can do right now is to protect you and me and him. And he's not for it. And I'm afraid this virus is only going to keep going as long as he's in office.
What do you think of Biden as a person?
Compassionate, very compassionate. I think he's a people person. I think he's here for us.
What did you see in Trump the first time?
I felt that it was something new. He was a businessman. And if a businessman can run a business, why couldn't he run our government?
And were you, who'd you vote for in 2012? Obama?
Yeah.
Obama. He was looking for a change, but that change wasn't a good change. Not at all.
Which change was not a good change?
When I went for Trump.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake.
I mean, I it's hard to know how representative that is, but the data shows that Biden's doing much better with older folks. And those folks look to me to be, late 50s, maybe 60s. And partly, it's because of the coronavirus, it seems to me. But this idea that Joe Biden's just, he's just a guy, seems like he's like it's hard to imagine a politician not coming across as compassionate relative to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. But, and I don't know. I mean, who knows? If we were not in the middle of a pandemic, I think that we could be in some trouble if Joe Biden was the nominee. But there's no point in trying to go back at this point.
Yeah. I mean, as to them saying, they just now realize Trump's a liar, I think, obviously there's some incredulity there, but they are kind of victims of American culture, right? Like that generation of people was so primed for the businessman in office, and Trump was the businessman on TV, and like in all of culture, not just NBC, but like if you search him in Rap Genius, he comes up in so many shows just as a synonym for rich guy. And then people don't pay attention that much to this stuff, so that's the impression they got of him, not like this insane right wing lunatic, because I mean, it's kind of really understandable how this happened.
And remember now, we're talking about a relatively small cohort of people, I don't know, maybe 6 million, 8 million people who, these people represent on some level. They don't necessarily represent them, but are part of that cohort. And, that's also does not fit necessarily the sort of like the ideological story. I think it is. It's the businessman thing.
Yeah.
And
no one who's driven by ideology is going to swing back and forth between Trump and the Democrats.
I mean, like the idea that he was, that people it was his populism that drove people from, like Clinton to Trump. I think it was more either
populism is not necessarily that ideological, right?
Well, I mean, the economic populism. I mean, I think there were definitely some voters who might have, but I feel like it was overstated.
He won the primary with the right wing stuff and the general with stuff we're talking about, the businessman stuff.
Right. And I think, you know, like Clinton was disliked for myriad reasons, including all the things that we talk about, and including, you know, a healthy dose of misogyny. We read that story from the New York Times the other day. I don't mean to laugh about it, but I mean, it's quite obvious. But I also think that there is this notion of like, businessman is, you know, this country is, you are indoctrinated to believe that businessmen are, you know, that money is a moral attribute, and that if you have money, then you are morally and sort of just divinely superior. And
that you like have business acumen.
Right. That there's like not a huge amount of luck, or in Donald Trump's case, like seed money that brought you to a certain point. You know, and it's also, I don't know. I mean, and you're talking again, a narrow set of people. And so I don't know. We'll see what these numbers say, but